When you get the invitation to the next potluck, I've got the only recipes you need to know. Here are 5 summer sides that are easy to make, easy to transport, and big on flavor. Starting with that sweet summer corn, Cowboy Corn Casserole. Yes, please. You can totally make this recipe with frozen corn. That's what the recipe calls for. But I'm using fresh because it is sweet, it is crunchy, and it is cheap right now. To make these super easy to shuck, I've gone ahead and put them in the microwave for about 3 minutes. It just kind of loosens those little fibers and the husk from the corn, and watch how easy it becomes. It peels right off without all those hairs sticking to it. It's the easiest way to do it. You can also take a knife and just cut off the stem end and then just roll away the husk. Y'all loved the potluck recipes I brought to you last year because they were the something different. The simple potato salad and baked beans are always a hit. Of course, you can do corn on the cob or that delicious elote corn salad that I did last time, but Cowboy Corn Casserole, that's gonna be a hit. I can tell you one thing, I will never attempt to shuck corn without microwaving it first. It's a game changer. And I'm just gonna cut the kernels from the cob. To make something cowboy, you usually have some heat, whether that be from fire roasted veggies or from spicy things like chilies. Also usually includes a little something smoky like bacon. We're gonna do all that in this. And it'll be the perfect balance and complement to the sweet corn. Go ahead and chop up the bacon that you cooked, and then I'm also going to chop up some green onion. I'm gonna save the tops for garnish and put the rest inside. Now we dump and bake. Start with about half a block of softened cream cheese. To that, I'm gonna add in a little bit of milk. And then to help thicken this, I'm gonna stir in a little flour. Just about a 1/4 cup. And then as this heats up, it's gonna thicken just like how a normal roux would. Now we're gonna start adding our flavor. So I'm going in with a little bit of fresh garlic, a little paprika, of course some salt and pepper. Now goes all that beautiful corn, bacon, and the green onions. To give it a little more cowboy effect, some fire roasted chilies because you think about the cowboys and their campfire. Also going in with cheddar cheese. See, can you just look at this and you know this is gonna be so good? Yes, Nicole, we can tell. I actually think I want a little more of the fire roasted chilies. Yes, that's gonna be so good. So as this cooks, some juice is gonna come out of the corn, and you don't want the dish to be too runny, so that's what that flour is for. Going on with just a little more bacon on the top and the rest of that cheese. This goes into the oven at 350 degrees till it's hot, browned, and bubbly. Take about 40 minutes or so. Cowboy corn, smelling divine. Hot and bubbly. This is one of those dishes that is perfect for a potluck because it needs to sit. It needs to really come almost to room temperature so that it will firm back up. Because my people like a kick, I'm gonna add on some jalapeno. The green chilies that we put in earlier are not spicy. They just offer that good kind of chili flavor. And then those green onion tops that we saved from earlier. And you can see the bacon and the cheese coming through. Oh yeah. At the end of this, I wouldn't mind making just a whole veggie plate. Pasta's included in veggie plates, by the way. You can see it's not soupy at the bottom. It's nice and creamy, and that's only going to get better as it sits. This is definitely a dish that can be served at room temperature. Perfect for a potluck. Yes, that sweet corn just kind of pops in your mouth, but you've also got that richness from the bacon, from that creaminess, from the cheese, then just a hint of spice. I totally recommend adding that little jalapeno to the top. One of the better corn dishes I've ever made. What's a summer potluck without a pan of baked beans? We are making loaded baked beans. This is perfect for people who are like my kids, who like to make their entire meal out of baked beans. It's gonna be hearty. I mean, it could be your main entree. We are gonna load it up with everything possible. I'm starting off by browning and crumbling some ground beef. You could also do ground sausage here, but I am also adding in smoked sausage. And if you know, you know. Do about 3/4 pound. And I like to chop it up into bite-sized pieces. We're also gonna brown this just to render that flavor out. That way it transfers through all the beans. Whenever I make baked beans, I do 9 times out of 10 start with already canned baked beans. I drain off the liquid and then I zhuzh them up to make them my own. But the hard part's already done for me. I've already chopped up some onion and bell pepper. I'm also gonna add in a little jalapeno. Listen, these are called loaded for a reason. You just want a little bit of everything in there. And you want all the flavors. You want your sweet, which you've got in your baked beans. You want your salty, you want your spicy, smoky. When your ground beef's cooked, go ahead and drain it. Remember that old trick? And now I'm gonna add the sausage to that same skillet. We're just gonna render some of the fat out and get it a little browned. That way, all that good flavor carries through the rest of the dish. That doesn't take any time at all. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the bell peppers and onions in here, go 1 more minute, and then we bring it all together. So I'm going straight in, sausage, peppers, and onions, drained ground beef. Not to get lost, the star of the show, I've drained off that liquid that it comes with, because we don't need it. Obviously, this is going to make a lot, which is why it is a perfect potluck dish. Throw in those jalapenos. And now time to sauce it up. Barbecue sauce, yellow mustard, brown sugar. And you get around with a little garlic powder, and then just a little hot sauce and Worcestershire. Finish it off with a little salt and pepper. Now that's a loaded bean right there. This is a great side dish because you can totally make this in advance, keep it in your baking dish, and then bake it off just before your party. And of course you're gonna cook these hot, but baked beans are delicious to me, room temperature or even cold, with a potato chip, like a dip. And I'm gonna cover these. I like to bake them covered so they get and stay nice and saucy. And then you can uncover it to brown around the edges towards the end. You can't really mess that up because everything in there is already cooked. You just want it to heat all the way through and let those flavors come together. Hot and bubbly, smelling so good. I don't know, guys, we are just batting 1,000 right now. Like I said, these can be enjoyed room temperature, even cold, in my opinion. Regardless, you're gonna wanna let them sit. So this is a great one for a potluck because they are gonna hold their heat for a long time in the pan, even if you use a disposable pan. So let it ride, let it sit, come together. They're gonna be so thick and creamy, saucy, yummy. I'm gonna add a little sprinkle of green onion. I'm really excited about this. This is the one that kind of makes your jaws start to tingle and your mouth water. Oh yeah. See, the top is darker than the inside because the sugars have risen to the surface and then caramelized. I love that every bite has a little bit of everything. It's got the sausage, the ground beef, the veggies. My kids aren't gonna know what to do with this. I've never made them this loaded before. Mmm. Mmm. You want a bite of this? You do. You do. Wow, those are good. The smoked sausage in there comes in clutch times 1,000. I also love the little bits of ground beef. It just kind of makes it a more substantial meal, but it also adds this texture so it's not just all a soft bean. The sauce is perfectly sweet and salty. Quite possibly the best baked beans I've ever made. And I don't say that lightly. What is a party or a potluck without a pasta salad? It's another one my kids would make a whole meal out of, so we don't have a party without it. I'm doing Ditalini Pasta Salad because this has now become my favorite noodle to use in pasta salad because you can put all the other ingredients with it, put your fork in or even a spoon and come out with the perfect bite. You'll see what I'm talking about. Ditalini is just a small tubular shaped pasta, so of course it'll cook up a little bigger than this, but it also, with that little hole in there, is the perfect vessel to trap the dressing. So you just want to cook this according to package directions. Make sure it's al dente, because as it says in the dressing, it's going to soften up a little bit. I like to go about 1 minute under what the package says. Meanwhile, get to chopping. So this is an Italian style pasta salad, which I think is the most crowd pleasing. So we're gonna make an Italian style vinaigrette. I'm also throwing in some olives, some pepperoncini I'm gonna chop up, and then also a little bit of pepperoni. I like to get it like this so that you can cut it to your desired size, which for us is gonna be small because we want it to match that pasta. Same with the cheese. I'm doing provolone cheese, so you can just get your butcher to slice a thick block, or you can buy a block of it like this, but sometimes this is a little bit cheaper. I'm gonna go ahead and just start chopping. Definitely one you could make a couple days in advance because this is just gonna get better as it sits. The flavors here are gonna be like a grinder, you know, the Italian subs, but in a different package. So this is a great salad to make when you need to hone in on your knife skills, you know what I mean? Pun intended. I think it's really important for the perfect bite that you cut everything the same size. It's gonna be worth it. If you have one of those handy little choppers, do it. Ta-da! Let's create the party in the bowl. This could also be a really good time just to clean out your fridge. You really can't mess up a pasta salad. I also love this because my kids get like their protein and their veggies, and you don't have to think about it. Can't forget the star of the show, Ditalini. All that's left, the dressing. For the dressing, it's going to be like a classic Italian vinaigrette that meets like a classic Italian sub. Okay, similar vibes. Little red wine vinegar, a little bit of Dijon mustard. This is gonna be our emulsifier. Some oregano. This really always reminds me of the submarine dressing. I'm gonna grate a garlic clove in here just so you get like the smallest little pieces. Perfect. Also gonna add in a splash of the pepperoncini brine. It's mainly just vinegar, so we're just adding more of that good flavor, and then salt and pepper. So all pantry staples. And I'm gonna whisk it together while I drizzle in some extra virgin olive oil. To add a little creaminess and kind of thicken this dressing, going in with a little grated Parmesan cheese. See, got this good, thick and creamy salad dressing. Get every last bit. You can just see, you know when I go in with that spoon, I'm gonna come out with the perfect bite. Finishing touch, a little fresh parsley. It's just gonna make it look like a little confetti. You've heard me talk about parsley before. It's about $1, but it really, I think, makes a big difference in a lot of recipes because it just adds that fresh note without changing the flavor too much. The perfect picnic potluck pasta salad. If that's not a beautiful bowl of pasta salad, I don't know what is. This is going to appeal to everyone. It's just a regular crowd pleaser, zhuzhed up with a different noodle, the Ditalini Pasta Salad. Saying for the win. I mean, just watch how you get a little bit of everything in every scoop. Nobody has to work for the perfect bite. Fit as a meal or a side, but either way, it's perfect for a potluck. Makes your body and your mouth dance. I mean, just look at that. You can just see with every little scoop, you're gonna have crunch, creaminess, pungency, flavor. And just those little noodles are just fun to eat. 1,000,000%, this will be a hit at the potluck. Just make it. You gotta have watermelon on the summer table, but you don't have to just have sliced triangle pieces. We are going to bring back an oldie but goodie with the watermelon feta salad. On Allrecipes, when you're looking up the perfect potluck side dishes, this salad, this recipe in particular, is one of our most top rated. So I thought we should bring it back. I don't know about you, but it's been a while since I made it. Starting with a watermelon, of course, if you've got one this big, you don't need the whole thing for the salad. So you could do some slices for maybe the pickier eaters or the kids. In the summer, I buy a watermelon every single week. And I keep doing it until the watermelon starts tasting bad. This is my family's favorite fruit, including mine. Cut off the ends and then cut down the sides. And listen, do it this way, okay? You can spend like $5 on a watermelon, or you can get the pre-chopped watermelon. A, that's not as good, and B, that's about triple or quadruple the price. You can go back around, but you don't want to cut off too much from the beginning. You can also save these rinds and make pickles. I've never done that before. Should I do that? But they say it's really good. Follow me on Instagram and see if I follow through with this. Also, I washed my watermelon before I started cutting because every fruit needs to be washed first. Even though we're not eating the rind, it has a lot of pesticides and dirt on the outside. So if you put it onto your cutting board, then you now have all that on your cutting board. And then when you get to this part, now all the bad stuff is on the inside. Just wash all your melons, all your melons. So we're gonna cut this into cubes, and just like when you cube anything, first you slice it, then you make sticks, and then you make cubes. It's making me want a watermelon margarita. I remember the first time someone talked about this salad, I thought they had lost their mind, but it works. And it works with a lot of melons. When you put something salty and briny with it, it just brings out the sweetness in the best way. Now this watermelon salad also has cucumber, so in goes English cucumber, also red onion, and then lots of fresh lime juice. And then as it sits, the juices come out from everything that's already in here, and then mixed with the lime juice, it mellows it out. To me, this salad is the epitome of summer. And then just a little bit of salt. Are you somebody that eats salt on your watermelon? I've never been that person. But I like it like this. But don't mess up my triangle slice of watermelon. Okay, pepper, fresh mint. Mint in any kind of fruit salad is just a no-brainer. Give it a little rough chop. Now I don't know if I want a margarita or a mojito. Now, the other star of the show, feta cheese. I'm telling you, this combo is magical. Summertime, summertime, summertime. All those juices have already started accumulating. You forgot how good this is. The freshness in this bowl is unmatched. Is it just not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? It's so juicy, especially down on the bottom. This is one of those like addicting salads. You don't understand until you take the first bite. I've never put the cucumber in there before today, but I'm loving that. Especially the English cucumbers because they're extra crunchy. It is so just perfectly sweet and juicy, perfectly sweet and savory. The feta and the mint and the lime just work complete magic in this dish. If you have not made the watermelon feta salad in a long time, do it today and use this recipe. It's a good way to stay hydrated too. You didn't think I forgot the potato salad, did you? It is a potluck. It is summer. You gotta have potato salad. You may or may not have noticed that I have not broken out the mayonnaise for any of these potluck sides because a lot of times that freaks people out in the outdoors, especially when it's hot. So this is a Greek potato salad and it has a vinaigrette type dressing, which I happen to love. I've washed my potatoes and now I'm gonna cut them into bite-sized pieces. For this, you can use a gold potato or a red potato. I wouldn't really use a russet for this because you do want the potato to hold its shape, and a russet potato is just gonna really fall apart when you cook it. And that is ideal in some potato salads, but for this one in particular, I want the potato to hold its shape. Also love using a gold potato because you don't have to worry about peeling them because the peel is so thin. So just cut them up, put them in some cold water in a pot, add a little salt, place it on the stove, bring it to a boil, and let them cook until they are fork tender. Potato salad lasts for a while too, so this is one that you can make a couple days in advance. Don't forget to salt your water. This is the best time for the potatoes to take on some flavor. I'm just gonna pop it on the stove, bring it to a boil. There's not much to chop up, but just think about a Greek salad. We're gonna have some red onion for crunch, flavor, but it also adds a great little color. I'll go ahead and add these to the bowl. Okay, and then some chopped celery. Very popular in a lot of Greek food. Fresh dill. I'm gonna save some for the top. The rest goes in. Also going in with Kalamata olives and some pimentos. So the dressing's really simple. It's just fresh lemon juice, olive oil, some oregano, and then a little salt and pepper. This doesn't have an emulsifier, so it's not going to fully combine the oil and the lemon juice. But once you toss it with the potatoes, it's perfect. But you want about double the amount of olive oil to lemon juice. Some oregano and salt and pepper. And we're gonna pour this over the potatoes while they're still slightly warm. That will help it really absorb into the potatoes. Now, potatoes are cooked, almost went a little too long, so I wanted them to cool off a little bit faster. So I'll put them on a sheet tray. Toss all this together first. And we're gonna pour the dressing over while it's still warm. That is pretty, pretty. Finishing touch, and the rest of the feta from earlier, because what is anything Greek without the feta? Are you happy behind that camera? That boy loves some feta cheese. Look how good that looks. No mayo required. I'm gonna make sure it's not poisonous. People are gonna think you've had some cooking lessons when you show up to the potluck with this potato salad. If you're looking for a new and different potato salad to try this summer, 1,000,000%, this is the one. Like I said, it just gets better with age, so make it in advance. Heck, even if you're not having a potluck, make this at the beginning of the week and eat off of it throughout the week. Thank me later. You know, that was a lot of dressing, but it has absorbed into each and every one of these potatoes. They're just like little sponges of flavor. It's everything. It's creamy, it's crunchy, it's so fresh and bright with the lemon, but then also mellowed out with that briny saltiness from the olives and the feta. I have no other words other than make it. I told you in the beginning, these are the only 5 recipes you need this summer when you're invited to that potluck. They're easy to make, they're packed with flavor, and they're all sure to be crowd favorites. This is a time where you might want some leftovers, but I promise you won't be coming home with anything other than an empty dish.